A family woman lost at least $30,000, her business and her marriage of 25 years to some people including her friend. How and why? Lydiah Ayuma met a man whom she was sure would love and live with her for better and for worse, in riches and lack. All was well with their relationship as they began to get established and grow in love with each other, until the husband started noticing other ladies and started flirting with them. He went ahead to bring them home. Note, multiple women right in front of Lydiah's eyes. When an opportunity to get rich came about, she jumped on it and brought him along in order to win his love and approval. This was the beginning of the end of their relationship and consequently marriage.
All along I contemplated moving out of the relationship, but then I had kids in school. Of course I had to figure out how they will continue schooling and all that. With education, it would guarantee them survival when they get older. That's the kind of state I was living in. That man kept adding more wives.
Their relationship would hardly last long though. She would hang in there with him. Consequently, due to a couple of challenges, they separated, as her ex-husband was in multiple relationships. That notwithstanding, he used to pay their rent, provide for food, and pay their children's school fees.
At some point, I sought to engage myself in income-generating activity. I established a daycare. The proceeds from the daycare were enough to cover my bills.
That's when a friend approached Lydiah and told her of their friend's cousin who was helping people by multiplying their money. Not through lending and earning interest, but get this, by duplicating it. Lydiah was hesitant for a moment until something happened in front of her.
She promised to show me an example. She asked for 100 shilling notes. She did some mumble jumble and the money multiplied. Same case, she reproduced another 50 shilling note. She told me she has a crew back home that can multiply huge sums of money.
What Lydiah didn't know, she had already been hooked into a dangerous, slippery route, which she would not even recognize as she went down.
She would pick up a plain piece of paper, match it with the real notes, then she would pour some liquid on the notes. Afterward, the plain paper would have some imprints on it. Yes, it resembled the real notes. She narrated of how so many of our cousins back home are rich and all that.
Lydiah's friend also claimed that she would cash in the new notes either in a supermarket or a bank to exchange with the real money. Lydiah agreed to it and started organizing on how her friend's crew would get to Lydiah's house for the operation.
We went on with the plans. She was quite persuasive, just as a close friend would do. She was like, "Mama Babu, trust me on this. You will become rich in a click." I told her I believed so since I witnessed her demonstration.
The crew comprised 2 men and they arrived one evening. They did not intend to stay for long. She went to the bank and withdrew some 150,000 shillings. The amount was all her savings at that time.
They claimed they wanted to get down to work immediately. I took my cash and handed over to them. I don't know how they do it, or it's an optical illusion. I can't tell.
They took the cash and she ushered them into the kids' bedroom, the hub of the illegal operation.
They asked me to go to get something. I don't recall what was it. Once back, they tell me they've messed up something and the entire money is unusable.
When she asked what happened, they informed her that the liquid they were using had accidentally spilled on all the notes, hence rendering them useless. They asked her to get an additional amount of money to purchase some more liquid to restart the process.
Out of desperation, I went ahead to look for some additional money. I reached out to a certain lady. I requested her to lend me 20,000 Kenyan shillings. I promised to pay up the money same day. In my mind, I thought I'd get the money back same day.
She was sure she would get more money on that same day. So she assured the lender that she would be back with the money within a few hours. However, she did not disclose the reason she was borrowing the money for.
She handed me the 20,000 Kenyan shillings. I went straight to the crew. They left claiming to have gone in search of a new liquid. That day, they never returned.
When she called them to find out where they were and the whereabouts of her money, they told her it is curing in the house and she should not tamper with the process. She was instructed to wrap it up in some foil. Her lady friend promised to follow up with them. They tried making calls but in vain. On the third day, the crew claimed to have gone back to their village because they did not find the liquid they were looking for.
My 20,000 Kenyan shillings disappeared in the wind. Same case with my 150,000. I was left puzzled, not sure what to do.
Lydia tried to find help from her friend to get in touch with the crew. In vain. One of the men, however, came over, and when he saw the notes, he said they couldn't be rectified as they were. Therefore, Lydia needed to get more money.
To date, I still feel they used something to hoodwink my mind. I mean, I was just following what they said without questioning. I was left confused on where to get the money the guy asked for.
At this point, she was married, and that was when she decided to loop in her husband on the plan. After all, he was running a mobile money transfer shop. He gave her another 100,000 shillings in Kenyan currency.
This is what he said. The money is spoiled again. I can't rectify the situation at all. This means that the 100,000 shillings I had given out was spoiled in the process as well.
He asked her for some more money to go and borrow the liquid from a friend of his. That is how he vanished.
I started panicking. I owed people money, including my husband. My entire savings had disappeared as well. My husband started complaining, asking for a refund for his money. I kept assuring him the guys will be back. They've just gone to seek some tools.
As time went by, Lydia explained her situation to a certain woman who was her neighbor. That is the one person who told her those were money launderers, and that she would try to help her. She also introduced her to another guy who claimed that he would rectify the spoiled notes and save her situation. Take note, that was the third guy. He claimed that the previous guys were flatly incompetent. He also took a 1,000 shilling note and duplicated it. At the time, it seemed like it worked perfectly well. When her husband heard the news, he was equally elated.
Remember, it was in the middle of the night. He was like, let me go to some office. If they are still open, I'll get some other liquid there. We see if it works. He got into the car and drove off with my lady neighbor. From there on, we've never seen them again.
Lydia did not stop at that. She still believed that her situation could be saved and gotten her money in double portions. Remember, at this time, she has lost 500,000 shillings.
We got hold of another guy. I don't recall who referred us to this particular guy. I don't know how he got hold of my husband's phone number.
He claimed he could help us sort our money issue. Her husband claimed that God had sent help their way. He took the spoiled notes to the newly found help. The new guy also requested for real notes so he could use them to rectify the spoiled notes. Both Lydia and her husband raised another 500,000 shillings by borrowing from friends and family. But they were still not lucky, even this time.
We went and stayed at the shopping center for such a long time. We were hungry and had no money, since we were expecting to go back with all our money. He came in the afternoon to our hotel and bought us lunch. We gave our spoiled cash and real notes. He said he will look for an IT guy. The money needed to be dried because it looked wet. I saw it as real money. I was happy, but the machine was in Kisumu.
The cycle repeated with the subsequent scammer asking for a higher amount than the previous one. In total, she lost 4 million shillings in Kenyan currency. She is now in debt and does not know how to restart her life, mostly because she's stressed and traumatized.
And neighbors keep pointing at me and asking me when I will pay them. I haven't even eaten. No lunch, no breakfast. I just sit here to think about what I went through. My son helps me a little. I just eat street-boiled maize, and my son's education was affected since he stopped learning.
In summary, Lydia lost her daycare institution she was running, her marriage and money. That is the story of Lydia. a woman who wanted to become rich but ended up being poorer and in debt. My name is Kingori Wangeshi.